You are in the Creator Studio and you want to upload your next video here. So let's go through all the YouTube video upload settings so that your next video is perfectly prepared. And we will go really deep beyond just the simple settings with all the knowledge how to grow a YouTube channel. First, we land on this upload page and I want to draw your attention to the fine print here, in particular the community guidelines. If you have never read them, there is a way to really get quickly up to speed. I left a link to a playlist from YouTube in the description where you can learn all about the community guidelines in a very quick way. All right, let me upload a video here. Here we go. Now the video is uploading at the top right, while we are entering all the information about this video. First off, of course, we have the title and the description. In the title, we certainly should enter something descriptive. And in my case, Cessna 172 flight around Mount Rainier. Of course, we don't just want to enter anything in the title. It has two purposes actually. First, of course, our viewers will read the title, especially when they scroll through their home feed, for example. The title plays an important role to convince viewers to actually watch your video. So the title has to be descriptive and intriguing so that people click. But also the second purpose that titles have is for YouTube SEO, which is in order to rank your videos in search. And for that, you probably, those who know about YouTube SEO already, see that I have a search term here in the title, which is part of the YouTube SEO process. For those who want to learn more about how to craft the perfect title that has the viewers and the YouTube SEO in mind at the same time, then have a look at the description of this video. I left the video link there for you. Next up is the description, of course. Here you should write something descriptive about the video. In my case, I could say, we took our Cessna 172 up into the Cascades and visited Mount Rainier while we were at it. Alright, normally the description would be a little bit longer, but first and foremost it has to be a very descriptive text about your video that humans can read. But also, like the video title, the description has two purposes. One for the viewers to read and the other one for the YouTube algorithms to read. So we do our YouTube SEO with the description as well. You can actually see that YouTube SEO is baked in here because here we have search terms baked into the description. So basically it's a human readable text that has words in it which people usually use when they go to YouTube search to find videos that are similar to your video that you are just uploading. And of course, if you want to learn more about descriptions, I left a link to a good video in the description of this one. Next up, we can upload a thumbnail, and that is actually a very good idea to do because thumbnails have a very high impact on the success of your videos because you can see them as a packaging, like the cover of a magazine that intrigues people to click your video, and this way, only this way, you get views. And the thumbnail obviously is the most important part of it, alongside of course with the title. I actually once did a study where I compared videos that just selected one of those pre-defined thumbnails versus those videos that uploaded custom thumbnails, and the difference in the success of those videos is really huge. If you're interested in that, also for that I left a video link in the description so you can find out more about this study that I did. Alright, before we go to the next step, one quick info. You sometimes hear that the file name of your video has an impact on your YouTube SEO. So if the file name has a very descriptive name, then the hopes is that your video ranks higher. This is absolutely not true. So don't worry about how you name the file of your video. Alright, and while we are at it, let's quickly copy the link to the video so that we can later share our video on social media, for example, so that as many viewers as possible watch our video, especially in the first day after you published it. That would be important there when you share your video on social media and get additional viewers this way, then you can have the biggest impact on the success of your video, because the idea is that the more viewers you have in the beginning, the more YouTube's algorithms detect that your video is an interesting one, and then it decides to promote your video to more people. So the YouTube algorithms work in your favor. And by the way, if you don't have any following on social media and wonder how could I share my video and get many viewers to my video this way, well, then there is a technique that you could use even without a social media following. I left again a link to a video in the description where I explain this strategy. All right, let's go on to the next step. Here we are in the advanced settings where we can fill out quite a lot. Let's go through them one by one. Playlists is always a good idea to consider as well. So you would add your video to one of your playlists here. But keep in mind one thing, when you look at all the YouTube advice out there, then it may seem sometime like a playlist in itself gives you a boost, makes your video more successful if you include it in a playlist. That is true to some extent, but the real power stems from making videos that are actually series. Like you know from Netflix, that all the series are written in a way that they have a story through all the episodes of the whole series, right? So that people can binge watch your series. And ideally apply the same idea to YouTube as well, so that you don't only create videos that are standalone, but instead create episodic videos which are set up from the script, from the story that you have in your videos, that they work well as a series. So for example, at the end of one episode, you pitch the next episode so that people continue binge watching your series. And that binge watching, actually, if that happens, if your audience is binge watching a series of yours, then especially the suggested videos algorithms can go nuts. So it's a really good idea to think, even before you create your videos, how could you design a series which is split up in several episodes, each episode being a YouTube video, of course. So then you would have a playlist for your series, like here, Getting Started on YouTube, and you are good to go. Next up are cards. This is certainly a way to recommend more videos to your viewers. And as I just said with the series, in general, it's a good idea that you recommend more of your videos to your viewers, because ideally viewers consume not just one video, but multiple videos in a row from your channel. And if that happens, then all comes together quite nicely, and the YouTube algorithms in particular work in your favor. They promote your videos more. But again, keep in mind, just including cards in your video is not the whole story. Usually, in order to really make them work so that people actually click on the cards, you have to motivate your viewers to click it. And you do it by explaining them why they actually should click the card. Because without a reason, rarely anyone is motivated to actually click the card. And if you want to learn more about this kind of explaining that you need to do in order to make people click a card, then click this card, and there you will find a video that goes through this exact process. By the way, this exact process you can also apply, and that is actually one of the next sections here, the end screen, to an end screen element, because ideally at the end of your video, you would also recommend another of your videos to the viewer so that they continue to watch videos from your channel. And there applies the same rule as well. You have to motivate people, give them a reason why they should watch the particular video next. So all in all, playlists, cards, and end screens are all techniques to make viewers watch more of your videos. And that is the most important part to do on YouTube. It's even more important than asking for subscriptions. It's even more important than asking for likes or shares. Make people binge watch your content. All right, next up is a very important sections, and these are tags. Here you would obviously add keywords that help your YouTube SEO in order to rank your videos higher. But usually you hear that if you add just some tags, like for example Cessna 172, that would be in this case a search term that people use who want to learn more about this particular type of airplane. And oftentimes the thinking is, because I have this tag in my video, For that reason, the video ranks for this tag, ranks for this search term in the search results. But this is actually not true. This is a misconception, a general one. If you want to rank your videos higher in search, then you have to follow a whole procedure. Tags alone don't rank your videos higher. If you want to know more about why that is and how you have to think differently, I again left a link to a video in the description that explains you more about it. But basically, still, these tags that you add here are for YouTube SEO purposes. And of course, I would add more tags here, but you get the idea. Next up, we have language and subtitle here. Of course, this setting should be the language in which you speak in the video. Caption certification is something for professional filmographers. So usually as a normal YouTuber, don't bother about this setting. But more importantly is the closed captions that you could upload here, because they help, of course, people who are hearing impaired to watch your video, as well as other scenarios where the environment is too quiet or too loud, where people are not willing to turn on the sound of their device. So a closed caption is even for regular people helpful. But if that is not enough for you, it is also a very important part of YouTube SEO. So you should have your closed caption for every video. But you don't have to create those closed captions from scratch like you would do when you upload your closed captions here. For a short video, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, it usually takes 10 to 20 minutes after you uploaded your video. It happens automatically that YouTube creates closed captions for you. And I once made a study where I found out that the automatically created closed captions are enough for your YouTube SEO. So all I would recommend that you do is to wait until the automatically created closed captions become available, and then you check them to make sure that the machine that transcribed what you said in the video didn't make important mistakes. So editing those existing closed captions is also really fast, and this way you save a lot of time. But at the same time, of course, you get all the benefits that closed captions give you. By the way, if you wonder how you can find these automatically created closed captions, then go to the Studio Beta here in the Videos tab, click on your video, and here you click on the Advanced tab, and then in this section you will find an entry called English in brackets automatic. Here in this case, it's my edited closed captions that were based on the automatically created ones. All right, back to the upload page. Next up, we have the category where you have a few options to choose from. In my case, I deemed education as fitting, but this category doesn't really matter on YouTube. In practice, usually people choose one category they use for all their videos, and that's it. It doesn't really have an impact on your success. Next up, we can select the recording date, which is again unimportant, so select it or do not select it, doesn't matter. Next up, we have a more interesting sections, those additional settings. Here, the first checkbox is about marking videos that are for adult people only, so 18 years or plus. It is a little bit tricky to upload those videos because you have to navigate all the guidelines and restrictions for those kinds of videos, you know, like R-rated movies. So you're best off if you don't do videos in the first place, which are for adult people only. And then of course you don't check this checkbox. Next up, we have allow embedding. That's all about allowing people to embed your video on their web pages. And of course, keep this checkbox checked because this is only a way to get more views to your video. So there's usually no reason to uncheck it. Next up, we have publish to the subscription feed and allow notifications to subscribers, which is basically also a setting that you should keep checked because you want that your subscribers get notified about your new video, right? Next up, we have a checkbox that you should check if you do a paid promotion in your video. For example, if you review a product for which you got sponsored by the company who sells this product, it's really important to check this box. And by the way, this is a very important checkbox because it hints towards the main way how you can earn money on YouTube. It's, by the way, not the AdSense, not the revenue share from the ads that YouTube show. That is, of course, a great way to earn a little bit of income, but the main way usually on YouTube is to get paid by promotions, by product marketing, like the product review that I just mentioned. So it's a good idea to look out for opportunities where you can do that. And once you do that, make sure to check this checkbox. All right. Next up, we have the video location. Here you can enter something like Mount Rainier, which is basically a useful setting if you do a travel video and then tag the location, of course. But this video location doesn't have a wide impact on YouTube. Set it if it makes sense. But if you really want to optimize your video that people find it because of the importance of the location, then make sure to include this location in your video title. Having the video location just here in this setting is not enough to get your video discovered because people search for, in my case, Mount Rainier. All right. Next up, we have license and rights ownership. Here you have only two options, the standard YouTube license and the Creative Commons. This you would use the Creative Commons in case you want to share this video and allow other people to reuse your video in their work. But usually just keep it to standard YouTube license if you're just a regular YouTuber who publishes videos for other people to watch. And last but not least, on this page, we have comments and ratings. Here you have the ability to disable comments. If you don't want that anyone can write comments under your video, you usually see that if companies publish something and they don't want to have this feedback from the audience under the video, but through their forum, for example. That could be an example. Usually you should allow comments because this is a way to engage with your audience in order for you to respond to what they ask. And this way you can build loyalty in your fan base. That is a very important way to create really a fan base around your channel. And for that reason, enable comments all the time and also make sure to respond to each and every comment because that gets recognized by your audience. And for that reason, your audience will feel closer to you and that increases the chance that they keep coming back to watch your new videos. And that is really important, right? Then you have a few options how comments should be handled, and the standard selection, hold potentially inappropriate comments for review, is a very good idea so you don't get spammed so much and can delete comments before others even see it. And then there's the sorting options, how the comments are sorted. The top option is really good because this way important comments that other people like and where people respond to get to the top. And this way basically everyone who goes through the comment section sees the more important comments first, and that is of course in everyone's interest. So keep it to top, and then finally you can uncheck this checkbox if you don't want people to see how many likes and how many dislikes you have. In that case, people can still like and dislike, but the numbers of the likes and dislikes are not shown publicly. All right, that is the advanced settings page. Now let's go to the last page for the video upload, and that is all about the visibility of your video. We have first off setting the video to public right away. So once you click done here on this screen, the video goes live and everyone can watch it. At the same time, of course, the notifications will get out to your subscribers so that they are informed about your new video. But by the way, it is usually not a good idea to set your video right away to public because you want to publish your video at a very specific time, and that you could do with having private at first so no one can see it, and then you schedule your video for a particular date and time to become public automatically. And there, for the scheduling, the big question is, of course, when is the perfect time that your video should go live actually. And of course, you know, from many other social media platforms, there are times where you should post because this way you can reach more people. On YouTube, it's a little bit different. On YouTube, the time at which you publish your video when it goes live is not related to how you can reach audiences. It is related about how you can reach your subscribers. Everyone else who is not a subscriber does not really care much about when the video got published. If it was just an hour ago or 6 hours ago, doesn't make much difference for a regular viewer who is not a subscriber on your channel. But For subscribers, the time is actually very important because we mentioned before that when you publish your video, notifications go out to your subscribers, right? And these notifications ideally should reach your subscribers at a point in time, at a moment where they have time to watch your video. Ideally, they see the notification, click on it right away, and are the first viewers of your video. And there we wonder about, when are your subscribers ready to watch a video? When do they have a lunch break? When are they finished with school, or when are they finished with work? By analyzing who your subscribers are, in which time zones they live, what kind of schedule they have, when do they watch your videos, this way you can figure out what would be the ideal time to publish your video. And if you want to learn more about it, again, I left a link to a video in the description that explains you more about the best time to publish your video. So once you have figured it out, you would enter that time here, and then your video would automatically go live once this time arrives. Then finally, we have the unlisted option, which is a way where people don't discover your video through YouTube. They can't find it in search, for example, but you have to share a link with those people in order for them to be able to watch your video. And sometimes you hear on the internet the advice that it is a good idea to set your video to unlisted first, send the link to some of your audience, so you ramp up a few views for your video even before you set it to public. And that way, apparently, the video would be more successful. I highly doubt that this is true. So I recommend ignore this kind of advice and don't set your video to unlisted. Just think about when you should set your video to public, and that's it. Alright, and one thing I didn't mention, which you can see here in the public tab, you can set your video as a premiere. A premiere is a way to publish your video, important videos usually, where you have the opportunity at the time that it goes live, that everyone is watching this video together, and there is a chat like in a live stream where you can chat with your viewers at the same time while your video is playing. This is a great experience for everyone if you have an important video to share, and this way it's kind of a shared experience, which can be really great. And by the way, here you also have the option either to start immediately or to schedule your video for a certain time, which again, I would recommend to follow the advice on when the best time to publish your video is. All right, let me quickly set this to private because that's just a test, and I click done. And this way I'm done. The video is uploaded, and of course, if I would have scheduled the video, then it would go live on the scheduled time. But of course, you can always change that. When you click here, you can change the settings of scheduling it afterwards. You can click here on the video link and change all the settings here again. So nothing is set in stone. You can always change it. Alright, if you want to learn more about any of those settings that I showed you today, look into the description. I left video links for each and every aspect of it. And this way I hope it helped you to figure out which particular settings work best for your videos. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment in the description. I'm happy to help you out in this case. Alright, I hope this helped. Cheers, my friends.